this season. So close, 6th place in summer last year, and Jin Air looking to do one better and actually make it back to the postseason.
Well, ROX now over onto that blue side. See how they're going to fare and see what they want to target out first and foremost as they run down the clock a bit. See how important this Tristana is to them, whether they want to take it off the board or not. But now it's going to be the GP.
The 80 carry bans are a bit 8.1 Achilles. We're moving past that. No need to ban no Tristanas. You know that Teddy has an arsenal already, and Jin Air don't want to revisit the Gallia or have it first picked by ROX Tigers. That's going to be banned away. Gnar first pick, still very popular. I mentioned that both these guys have been leaning on Gnar pretty extensively, and we saw a blue side first ban Gangplank in game 1. See here as well, and despite the fact that it's a good lane matchup in a vacuum, traditionally Gangplank was doing very well recently, so that's why we see a lot of attention towards the Gangplank. And now I feel like they're choosing between Gnar and Zoe for a first pick, with a ban on Malzahar.
Still could see that one banned away.
You always want to know what the blue side team is reaching for as a first pick, because giving away 2 power picks on red side never feels good unless you're very happy with what you get. So I feel like that's going to be what they're pushing for, one of Gnar or the Zoe. See if that is true, or whether it's a jungle pick like the Sejuani that might be left available.
Yeah, something else that they could go for. But final ban, they've really been taking their time, being meticulous with their selections here, running down the clock each time to make sure they have the maximum amount of opportunities to discuss. And it's going to be the Rise at the end, so yeah, maybe going for the Zoe here.
Zoe, Azir, Sejuani, all available at this point. Gnar also, like I say, a contested pick between these two teams. See what Jin Air makes of all of this. It's Gnar banned in this spot on the red side by ROX Tigers in game 1. Again, so many power picks. Zoe's the one that has potential to be a game breaker. We've seen a lot of Zoe's well held in recent history, so we're down to the wire. Will we see a ban? We do. It's Varus, so they want to leave things wide open. They don't think any one of those champions can influence far. So Jin Air will get 2 of what is a pretty packed board of champions. Will ROX Tigers go tier list? I think tier list would be Sejuani in this particular situation, but the new tier list says Zoe. Marva's had some great games on it, but a lot available here for Jin Air to lock in as well.
Grace has had his performances as well with the Zoe, so we'll see what he wants to bring out as far as countering it is concerned. But Sejuani, a bit of a no-brainer to lock in for Umti. Won't be quite as aggressive as, you know, heavy damaging as we saw from
he'll
his Camille,
still be plenty aggressive.
He will, yeah, he'll still go forward. He just won't be the one outputting all of the damage in the fights.
Could take Sejuani Gnar here if you want for Jin Air, or leave the Gnar if you have a pick that someone's happy to take into it. Vladimir could be considered if he gets enough ganks, as he did in the Cho'Gath lane. So a lot of power picks left open. The 80 carry pool short of Kalista and Varus. The Ezreal, for example, could be considered for Teddy. What will the decision made here? It's going to be mid lane. It's going to take the Azir. I do have enough jungle pressure to avoid just being free food, and with ganks can be very, very powerful at turning things around against the Zoe. So we've seen this matchup a lot. Looked very Zoe favored at the start, but with jungle intervention, the Zoes have been caught out a couple of times by Azir, so trending more towards the middle. So a lot available for ROX Tigers. Could have their choice of 80 carry here. Also, a lot of the supports available as well. So Gnar also, that we mentioned is very high priority, will be considered, and there will be Linderung's Gnar locked in. So One showed us his first victory in a champion not named Nara Ornn in game 1 for the season. That was the Vladimir, which may just be taken here by Jin. It'll be heavy magic damage, but by the Gnar having a good lane matchup into the Vlad. We have been seeing it more and more in Kog'Maw, finally. We haven't seen a lot of Kog'Maw this week, but an old favorite of Songyun.
We had it banned away there in game number 1, so now available. Songyun will get his favorite pick. As Teddy looks like he's mulling over what ADC he wants, and with Ezreal on the board, might just go ahead and take this.
Had some great games with this in recent memory, so make a lot of sense. Happy to take it. Bit more lane control early. So we do have 80 carries first round, and for the first time in a while, we had a lot of second round complete 80 carry and supports. No ability to take something like Zion Rakan here for Jin Air, because it would have been instantly one of them banned in the second round. So now we follow the draft. Supports for both sides necessary. Jungler for the side of ROX Tigers, and top laner side of Jin Air. So banning something like Camille would be probably behooved for the side of ROX Tigers to get a bit of coverage, as So1 has looked good on Camille, and Camille traditionally does well against Gnar. See what the approach is here from ROX, though. They do ban away the Camille, so I think that's smart. Side of Jin Air, look at the draft here and wonder what support they want to pick. Something like Braum would help them against the potential of the Paddle Stars. We're going to actually ban away Braum, interestingly. Less tank supports, the better if you want to deal with a Kog'Maw and not have those in the game. They can just take away the Taric on red side if they want it. Would mean that they would be very one-sided in terms of how they engage outside of a top lane engaged champion. It would only be a Sejuani ultimate or maybe an Azir super play. And with that lower engage, ROX Tigers continues to cement that by removing support Ornn as a possibility for Wraith.
So what do they want to go for? Something that can get the lockdown onto the likes of Songyun or Linderong.
Will Wraith get to go to his deep in his bag of tricks here? Because we know that he plays basically everything.
I mean, Leona.
I think
Leona,
Leona,
one
of the ones he picks, would be pretty decent in this particular game. Alistair also is somehow available. We've forgotten about the cow.
That's true.
Alistair will be sick in the draft here from Jin Air.
We just had.
Does ROX Tigers have to take it? I wonder what they do here, because I feel like Alistair would be really good for the side of Jin Air. Watching the side of ROX, looking for jungle and support themselves.
So far, flashing the J4. We'll lock that in for So1.
Areas of control away from the Kog'Maw, always appreciated. And there's also the Narvin combo for the Mega Gnar into the Cataclysm. So Alistair being here is kind of a plot hole, it feels like, in terms of what's available. They already have a Kog'Maw draft. They don't have that much support for Kog'Maw. So one way to add support in laning phase is the tier Taric, and then in team fights with the Cosmic Radiance. Does Jin Air just take Alistair and feel really good about their draft, though, is kind of my question. An old favorite of Wraith. Hasn't been as successful on it in the 2018 season. Only one game, one loss, but an old favorite of his. So a lot of Ezreal Alistair. Or does he go for something like the Leona and go into his own personal bag of tricks?
I'd like to see the Leona. But
it's too tempting.
Yeah, you're talking up the Alistair and how well it goes with this draft, so they will go ahead and lock that one up for Wraith. So, Kog'Maw Taric versus the Ezreal Alistair bot lane.
Ezreal Alistair been a huge favorite. It's going to crutch for many teams in the LCK. Best thing about it is you can go Unsealed Spellbook on the Alistair, even Aftershock, but probably Unsealed Spellbook. It's Ezreal, so you can live him in lane and he's not going to get dived. He's very able to self-peel in a 1v2 scenario and then get your roam on, which I think Wraith will want to do in this game, and they needed a new engage factor. Alistair is one of the most balanced ways to provide engage, so really like it in this draft. Can also do big things against the Cosmic Radiance, just against a Kog'Maw comp in the late game by headbutting him out of a fight. So Alistair being available there, a surprise, because we have seen it banned in the first round so frequently this week. Things to like about both drafts, but I'm always a bit skeptical about these defensive drafts with a Kog'Maw and a Taric together. Taric ended up being on the winning side in game one when Tristana hit her items and go Rambo. See how things shake out here, because we do have a Zoe on the Rift for the first time in a while.
Well, more often than not, when we see these Alistairs come through, they usually are resulting in an MVP performance. Yeah. So Wraith pressure going to be on this guy and try to rack up an MVP win for himself and get his name on the board and start climbing the ranks. Going up against Key here with the Taric. We'll see if he can pull it off. We'll see if Jin Air can complete a 2-0, a very unexpected one at that. ROX Tigers don't want that to happen. They want to equal the score. They want it to be a 1-1. They want to force that game 3. Let's find out if they can do it as we load up for game number 2. So look on this foreign fan's face who's sitting next to the cheer for the ROX Tigers, and he was just like, damn.
Those are some lungs. That
She's
was
got
a
some
loud
pipes.
cheer, definitely. Always appreciated. 2 Doran Shields here, so Doran Shield Kog'Maw to start things out, items-wise. Not too exciting. Ooh, a starting jungle item that's not a machete. That's always a rarity. Especially on someone who usually takes single target camps. But Sejuani starting topside jungle with the talisman instead has also been a consideration. So doesn't want to show his item, because I remember specifically Ambition varying up his pathing on Sejuani pretty significantly when he went for talisman. Also could mean not very much, of course. The difference between the two is pretty small. It does help him taking Raptors in particular. Little hello from Lava on the Zoe. We haven't seen a lot of Zoe, but a reminder that Zoe is at full power here.
Yep.
Patch 8.2. And we've got some spell books rolling here, Achilles, on the side of ROX Tigers. Triple.
3 all the way from the mid down to the bottom lane. Just going to be the 2 there for Jin Air.
So Sungyun and Key were able to surprise KSV in game 1 of their series by going for the teleport, ending a bad laning phase, and doubling down as Sungwon. Speaking of surprise.
Going to go ahead and force the flash out of Grace immediately. Very nicely done there with the J4.
But you can do a lot of creative things when you take double teleport in the bot lane. You can also work against it, so I'm really excited to see if we see any timings. Comes a bit like a lane swap. If you try to enter lane with both of you riding teleport and then dodge out of it situationally, when it comes to all the waves getting in the right position to see who actually picks up the first turret blood, or the first brick as we like to call it. Wraith himself has the only unsealed spellbook. I tell a lie. Vladimir, of course, has one as well. So 5 means that maybe you'll have some fun teleport wars to deal with Achilles.
Looking forward to it. DPM there from Songyun in the last game. Not looking so good, especially when compared to the Tristana from Teddy, who just ended up shattering everybody on the Rift.
And Wraith was also 14 times the player that Key was. 14 assists to 1.
Yep.
That was only 1 kill, so 100% kill participation to Key. Numbers can be very misleading.
Trouble bubble connecting there onto Grace. Just Lava trying to give as much trouble over to the Azir as humanly possible. See, farming up underneath this turret, not going to be that much of a problem, as they're still pretty neck and neck as far as the CS is concerned.
Vladimir in this game is picked for comp rather than necessarily picked for lane. Played a couple of times already, but Spectre's Call into Black Cleave, he actually wins standing DPS trades in Mininar over the Vladimir.
Oh boy, Lava found a TP.
But Vladimir, if he's able to run at Cogmore and Zoe, is going to be a pretty big win condition there to at least force some flashes or to deny damage out of a fight. And yeah, you're right. The dirty TP pickup for a Zoe is always getting a free buy. Omti is like this. He's not taking Fleet Forward. It's actually going to be the Aftershock for the first time from him. Doesn't mean that he's insanely tanky early, because he gets the flat resist after the change to Aftershock. Not going to be as much damage as before, but between his passive resist and the Aftershock resist, the first shot does literally no damage.
Yeah, he is not going to be taking much. Thunderon getting the transformation. Just going to land that wall up there onto Soan, and we're going to have a pause.
Intriguing.
Will it be an audio issue?
I mean,
I wonder.
I hope not. Hopefully it's something solvable. We'll get the confirmation. Seems to be in the Jin Air booth, but we'll wait for Joel to get on Discord and confirm.
That Umti's just not really sure what's going on. We're just getting a nice little reaction shot from him.
We're all about reaction shots when we have pauses. Songyun, nonplussed about all of this.
He's just hanging out.
Still has 1,000 days as a pro player sign and some sort of James Bond-esque.
I was going to say, normally they're themed after a
confirmation
champion,
here.
But he just has the
Sungwon
gun.
fell out of the audio channel, apparently is what happened.
Well, that's not great, so I guess we'll just have to go ahead and reconnect them.
I know how it is with top laners. Sometimes their voices are not heard, being on an island and all, but this was literal, so hopefully we can get that fixed very quickly.
Shouldn't be too long to just go ahead and get them reconnected.
Looking at Songwon, who... Yep, I mean, everyone had a roller coaster today in Game 1 for the side of ROX Tigers. So ahead in terms of 2 Barons, and then Umti picked up the MVP, and that aggressive pick onto Songyun. Who just want to get the game going. Bit of a wry smile. Again, a bit of a character, this guy.
Yep.
Having a bit of fun here, Jin Air GreenWings. They just want to win 2-0 and go into that last match to close out the week, and sounds like we're going to resume the game. So good news, guys. Short break for us.
Should be underway here momentarily. We can continue. And there we go. All right, not too bad. Not too shabby. Someone taking a bit of a beating here. But he's got the sustain, so he'll be all right.
I mean, Summoner Airy Gnar is pretty obnoxious to deal with, whatever the laner, but as levels roll in, we know that Vladimir will be fine. That's not going to be fine.
Yeah, that's a
That's
big
not fine
burst of
at all.
damage.
He wants to ignite Grace as well.
He's looking for it. Not going to land that paddle star. See what happens when he gets the trouble bubble up yet again. Grace, we're going to have to go back soon. It does not have Unsealed Spellbook, so it's just going to be stuck with the cleanse the entire time.
Two good lane matchups so far. The Gnar having a happy time against Vlad because he hasn't been ganked. But speaking of ganks, the smiling assassin is considering one right now.
Well, he'll be entering in, but will be spotted out by this ward, and Linderong is already starting to kite back. He should know that he's been spotted, and he will just go ahead and retreat.
See a battle over Scuttle. Someone's in a control ward. Uh-oh.
Sitting right here in the center of the brush. Will get found now. Empty. Looks to go over the wall, but fails the flash. A complete botch by him. Very well could lead to that first blood. Paddlestar comes through, and Lava will pick it up. Massive misplay by Empty, and you can see on his face, he knows it.
That wall was too fat to flash over. He couldn't do it. Ends up looking silly. We didn't use the Arctic Assault because he would have been body blocked by the Jarvan. Went for the far more reliable flash, but it lets him down. That means that Songwon gets the first little salvo this game after pickpocketed a victory away from him in game 1.
First blood going over to the Zoe. Not going to be feeling too good in the mid lane there for Grace. Like you said, getting that pressure alleviated by the jungler is what the Azir really relies on, and well, this is about the complete polar opposite so far.
Yeah, and Zoe got the kill credits, so happy to go into the Lost Chapter. Doesn't need a QSS anytime soon in this game. Can just get cleansed later in the game when he actually respects the threat of the Sejuani. So happy early game in every lane except bot, where you can see that Teddy's got the first shop in and is also going to punish ROX, or at least force the teleport. Teleport timings against these TP laners also always a bit tricky, so Ezreal getting in a farm lead and also being able to get a shop in is not a trivial thing. Obviously not great that he can't pick up a Sheen or the full Mana Moon on his first back, but whatever kind of thrift shopping you can do to not just fall into a hole against the always teleporting back to lane enemy AD carry is fine by the perspective of Teddy. Teddy's just denying him from CS now.
Yeah, he's just going to try to run him off.
He is the alpha. Gone. Certainly the alpha in this lane. Sangin doesn't have ult to snipe the minion wave. Key's back here, though, so should be fine.
Yeah, we'll be able to rejoin as Wraith is also coming back into lane. Just trying to dominate where he can, stretching that lead, trying to get that Kog'Maw down and out.
Good news about the back timing. Sorry to cut you off, but the good news about the back timing there, Kilios, is that it actually forced ROX to teleport to lane with their first teleport. Yep. Last time we saw them, again, game 1 against KSV, they actually walked to lane, then teleported out of it. So it relieves pressure on the top lane for a while. It's Trouble Bubble.
We'll lock him up. Just shorted there on the Paddlestar, though, so doesn't get the big punish on the MT, so he'll be safe to keep going through the jungle.
Had a Ghost in the back pocket. There's a ward to spot this. Jarvan, can he get there in time? 2 control wards. Linderong roaming down. Everyone roaming for the red.
Oh, yep, and he's standing right on vision. They know exactly how much HP is left onto this one. MT gonna have to try to take it away. Smite
doesn't have Smite.
Down, but he's gonna get popped up. Oh, actually, yeah, Smite away there by Songwon. As MT goes low, and he'll get taken down. Linderong finding the kill. Grace now just trying to poke in where he can, but there's really nothing that he can do.
It's good team effort from ROX, doubling down on the no Smite Sejuani. Second death of the game for Likely to be only an ultimate for these first few fights because he's falling behind in terms of any sort of experience. Songwon hasn't had to use his flash or ult and has been involved in 2 kills. We'll see the flow-on effect on the lanes when Songwon actually is unleashed on a true gank.
In the meantime, things still going well, at least for Teddy and Wraith down here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, you need to be winning somewhere, right? You need to be winning somewhere, and it happens to be bot lane.
I think actually MT did get the red buff because Linderong has it and he got the killing blow.
Ah, okay, that's fine. Obviously didn't get to hold on to it for very long.
Yeah.
But got the experience from it at least, which he needs desperately. You can tell he's at least some experience away from his opposing number. Lava himself is having a pretty happy time. So far, item builds are pretty predictable. Linderong wants to go into Black Cleaver now after the Spectre's Cowl to stop him trading down in these autos. Unfortunately, can't now manage the auto attack onto So1 and also hitting the turret because he has to deal with the red buff.
Yeah.
Love these back timings from Jin Air in particular. Seems like a really small thing to talk about, but you can really, if you're not prepared against the teleport laners, be screwed over when it comes to just losing multiple minion waves to the turret if the enemy bot lane has control and has Unsealed Spellbook. But also, you can take a step back and go, well, what did they lose from taking Unsealed Spellbook? Combat summoners, and taking teleport as combat summoners, or some sort of offense or defense in the tree. There is a cost involved. Attacking teleport laners who don't have combat summon is another way to go. If Sejuani was ahead, and even now, maybe ganking bot is what you want to do if you're Jin Air.
Well, Wraith arrives here and will stop Songwon from taking the Ocean Drake. Just denying another, just walk straight into that one. Denying an objective away from ROX Tigers. Good presence there from the Alistar.
Does delay the next one spawning, and does feel like ROX probably have control over the first 2 Drakes of this game after Umti has been set behind as far as he has. So denying the first take is important. I love the attack by Umti. He's going bot lane. Gonna pick up his Gromp. I wonder if he'll look for a lane gank, because again, there's no cleanse, there's no heal, there's no exhaust, there's no ignite. ROX have only built for teleporting topside to end the Vladimir's laning phase. Why not attempt to attack that lane?
Jin Air just looking to keep things nice and slow and just deny as much away from ROX Tigers as humanly possible, but seems like right now no vision around the Rift Herald. They won't be able to do that. He, however, is waiting here in the mid lane. Battlestar, again, just barely missing. Shorts that one out, but Empty not willing to commit the ultimate. Lava will be able to walk away. Flash still in his hand.
Doesn't have a lot of control over the top red side, though, so he can't just walk over and hit the plant in order to get vision, so has to just back away. Free Rift Herald to the side of ROX Tigers. Denied an Ocean. Get a Rift Herald.
Well, there's the hit. Got that one in range this time. Grace getting pinched on as Songwon comes in, looks for the flag and drag, but Grace has the shifting sands to keep himself safe. If things got really hairy and they wanted to go for a dive, still has the Emperor's Divide as well.
Rift Herald being plopped very early. If you end the laning phase of the Azir, that can be massive. They also have double teleports come in. It's a lost turret.
Yep. Laning phase for this Azir is going to be over as Lava swings them back all the way by the tier 2. Charge goes through, and they'll even get quite a bit of damage in, unless they can deny the charge onto that second turret.
The awesome thing about the timing there was it wouldn't even have required ROX to teleport top. They could have teleported mid. If there was any attempted a collapse with the double TP bot lane, that's why I said Umti attacking the teleports, to me, was what you wanted to do. Doesn't feel good about ganking a bot lane with both flashes up, but to me that was the best use of his time. Umti, after all this, does have a level lead.
Well, that's going to be the Headbutt Pulverize coming through. Cataclysm thrown down by Songwon, but he's just going to get wrapped up and get taken out as Umti finds the blue buff and the kill. So, overextension there. Songwon gives a kill over to Jin Air.
Didn't have to do the most roaming to make that happen, and Azir can at least situationally put up a Sun turret and delay any minion wave pushing into mid lane. So, taking a mid lane turret, always the gold standard against Azir. Doesn't always get you the power you want, and against the tide of the game, only lane winning, bot lane, mid lane, turret down. Should have been free Drake to the side of ROX Tigers, but Songwon caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Actually gotta just get taken away by Lava. Yep. He pops in, says thank you very much for the prep, and just assassinates that Drake right out from under their noses. So it does stop the bleeding of the objectives going over into the favor of Jin Air.
Well, someone had his hand in the cookie jar, was slapped away. Meanwhile, Lava just reached in and took the whole jar and decided to have it all for himself.
Thank you very much.
Nice little play there.
Wraith wandering around. Control ward thrown down there by Key. But doesn't want to be looking for the 2v2 skirmish.
Sungyun already has Rage Base. It's not as easy. Of course, no support is turned onto him.
Takes quite a bit of damage and nearly goes down. The heal comes over the wall. That last Mystic Shot had connected. Perhaps Teddy would have been able to get that kill.
Yeah, because could have just flashed all in, and the Cosmic Radiance would have armed in time. So there was a chance there for Teddy.
Taking the measured approach, though. Doesn't want to go to the all-in, potentially get locked up underneath the turret.
No tier on Key means that he has to be a bit more judicious with his mana.
Songwon.
We're having a party.
Pinching around the back. Good control ward. We'll spot out this J4, which should be enough for Jin Air to go ahead and peel out of here. Trouble Bubble connects, and Wraith is ready to body block if he has to.
Bot lane party.
Yeah, they're still sticking around, but there's not that many minions there underneath the turret, so it seems like Teddy and Wraith will be fine and stick around.
It takes a long time for Azir to push in. Long lane for him.
Don't recall that.
Nope. He learned that one quickly. Not often the team Well, the teleport bot lane is going to actually be attacked, but Sungyun had changed over to heal, so clearly the game plan on the fly was changed for ROX to actually attack Kog'Maw's lane rather than to go top side, as Nara was having a happy time. So on, and not the best lane ever, is doing fine himself, and they don't actually adjust the build and a straight up rush to the adaptive helm. Doesn't want to die to any sort of all-in from the Vladimir.
I don't think he has too much to be concerned about in that regard.
And this is the game where Zoe won lane and gets to roam everywhere at no cost. And this is the sort of game that people point to when they don't like Zoe balance levels.
Well, she will get spotted out by the control ward, can clear that. Maybe even still stick around a siege up against the Vladimir. In the meantime, Grace and MT getting the wave moving, trying to get some damage in onto that tier 1, but retreat comes through. Songwon is here to back up the Zoe already.
That control ward right on Songwon's position has got them so much this game. Got them the EQ earlier onto the Sejuani, and also meant they could always rotate through the river in great fashion.
Oh, just check the brush.
He can't.
Yeah, gotta be worried about the pinch coming through, but it'd be really nice for Jin Air to get back some control in that river, because you can see this just wards straight up from the mid lane all the way to top.
And Teddy's heard you, and when you say getting control back, he's going Trinity Force as his second item, trying to double down on a mid-game power spike, understanding that everyone else is operating on a budget. So one piecing together a Zonia's and a Proto Belt. Nashor's finished for Grace, but with Lava as strong as he is, kind of the theory also with the Trinity Force is when you do see the portal jump come through, at least now when you have more damage on your Mystic Shot, you can actually punish the Zoe with relevant damage, as the Iceborne Gauntlet proc isn't relevant because the slow doesn't really count when she can just go back to her original position every time. Still, means less control from Teddy. It really will be Alistair focused and also Sejuani focused for their engage.
Grace just keeps getting just outside of the range, but now looking for a play on the Songwon, but Flag and Drag does take him out safely.
And in the 1v1, he does a lot of damage to Songyun as well.
Yeah.
So, the only person who has not been having a great early game here for the side of ROX Tigers.
Linderong just punishing Soan where he can, as Teddy tries to whittle away to get this turret on the board. Try to answer some of this gold that ROX has built up for themselves.
It's trying to be a one-man pressure valve. Using that pressure to invade on bot side so they have control somewhere on the map. But once Zoe's been corralled under her own turret, Azir able to push up. They're roaming down with the Azir, and Jin Air want their first turret of the game.
Well, seems like they might be able to get it. Prox coming through. Almost finish it off as he gets locked up there for just a moment. Lava now arriving. We're looking for a hit as Wraith goes dangerously low. Teddy very dangerously jumps back in, has to flash away from the Flag and Dragon. Now it's going to be Umti maybe paying the price. Dashes away with the Cataclysm, locks him in, and Umti will yet again go down.
Someone had to die after Teddy was hit by the Trouble Bubble. Ends up being Umti, adding on the misery to the Sejuani.
And
Turret's so low, but when you can TP in a punish like this, Grace will get a bit of damage mid lane, but not enough. Zoe can already roam. Free turret for the ROX Tigers. They're going to extend their lead.
Yep. Trying to whittle away as much as they can. Another TP coming through as well from Key, looking to join in, but we'll just cancel that one. Threatens Grace back, and now going to be 2-0 as far as the turrets are concerned.
Wraith canceled a teleport as well, so another summoner that doesn't get any value for the side of Jin Air. Guess it was a counter teleport for Keys, top side.
Lava coming in. Massive burst of damage. Soan going low. Has to pop the stopwatch to try to stay alive. Flashes away. One final hit will finish him off, and Lava will get it. 3-0-0 on this Zoe so far.
Well, that was some damage. He wasn't expecting that, and he also was hit by the Merlinomicon proc because it did so much that it put him below 40% health. Goodbye to the healing being the change there. He uses so many resources and dies anyway. Stopwatch is down. Flash is down. Teddy might eventually get this turret, but man, at significant cost across the map. Big win for ROX.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Umti, at least breathing a sigh of relief that he's not the only one that has died on the team anymore.
He's the only one that has a kill, though, too.
That's true. But still, 4-1 with ROX Tigers in control.
And they're rolling pretty low on the Drakes here as well. Jin Air finally finds control of something. First one stolen away by Zoe. Good news, Zoe far away from the second Drake will be a cloud, and another cloud to follow.
Yeah, that's the bad news.
Does mean that Sejuani will be a little bit faster to try to find an ultimate, but hardly, pretty hollow in terms of what it brings. And Lava's pieced together the maximum magic penetration early build on for the CDR boots, just because you're priced into by the spellbook, but after that, that was a mess up.
Okay.
Actually, no.
Oh, he had a...
Yes,
okay.
An extra stopwatch. Azonia's
Of course.
Of course. I was
Why
like
not?
that. I was like a fat finger. Oh no, it's just silly.
Yeah, I thought he botched it, but...
Never mind.
Nope, don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Now he's just got an extra cleanse.
I mean, if you bait one person, not press tab, they might think your stopwatch is down, right?
I suppose.
Just playing around with the extra bonus items this 3-0-0 Zoe is. First Zoe we've seen in a while, and this one dominating. Game not over by any means, but tempo squarely on the side of ROX Tigers. Trinity Force finished on Ezreal. All aboard the Teddy train if Jin Air is going to get back into this game. Managed to work out in game one, sorry.
Sleep almost connecting there onto as ROX keeps trying to siege up. Lava takes a bit of damage. Ultimate thrown out, just finds key, so not enough for them to want to commit in on. And massive burst of damage connects in onto Grace. He has to dash his way out. Now SoOn is caught into the pit, has the nice sanguine pull to dodge out onto the Gnar ultimate, but not onto the wall up. And he is just getting focus fired, will get taken down as SoOn finds the killing blow in the meantime. SoOn also goes down. 2 members dead. Jin Air tries to hold on. One more hit. Teddy would have had it. The true shot barrage not going to connect. That was what you're talking about, that answering damage after the portal jump, but he just can't find the hits. Lava will stay alive, and ROX will find another turret.
Yeah, the answer, but not to the right question. Gonna lose the turret as well. It's so early in the game. They're doing true damage on the Zoe. No one has anywhere near the health or items to answer that. The engage is scuffed, goes on to Tarek. There's no reason to fully commit. Another objective goes down. You look at the ROX team, and when you talk about scaling, in a pretty good spot with that as well. Probably like Jin Air a little bit more, but scaling's almost a dirty word. It's not going to be a Gathering Storm game with how far ahead ROX Tigers already are. They cemented the 5,000. They're pushing up in every lane. There's only one defensive control ward here, and it's a Baron short of ROX Tigers finally breaking the base.
Haven't really seen much from Grace in all of this. He has been silently farming up, barely getting past Lava here at the moment, but I don't think we've even seen him cast a single Emperor's Divide so far in this game.
You might be right on that one.
Maybe right there in that last fight, I didn't notice it, but yeah, I'm not sure that it was used at all.
Wasn't really going to change anything, though, unfortunately for him. Teddy 1 item away from his 3-item core. Will Grace actually be in a position to teamfight, or will he just have 4 members because one of his tanks was popped by the Zoe? Is kind of the quandary he's dealing with. You'll notice the Leandris isn't even being built. He's working on a Death Cap just because the health values aren't there yet for the Jin Air GreenWings. So most damage you can piece together right now is the Needless Large Rod.
Jin Air trying to hold on to this turret, but it's taking way too much damage. Songyun.
Grace.
He's getting quite a bit of damage in Grace. Yeah, poking over the wall, but not going to be going for the big Shurima shuffle. ROX will just go ahead and disengage back towards that tier 1 turret rubble.
Jin Air just need time. They desperately want time to get items onto Vladimir, Azir, and the Ezreal. But every time a Trouble Bubble hits, the timer is set to 0, and their death is almost assured. So the push and pull heavily biased towards ROX Tigers, who are kind of inflicting what Jin Air did in game 1. They're the ones up 6-1 in kills this time.
Well, another lockdown there on but can't punish with the Paddle Star. Would have forced him back to base for sure. It's already going there anyway. ROX not trying to give up this lead that they have from themselves, much like we saw in game number 1.
They don't have a massively fast Baron. They have decent damage from the Cogmore, of course, but the right game plan is to utilize your strongest member, and their win condition alone is Zoe. Raining in Trouble Bubbles, so keep pushing up 2 lanes. Gnar can do a bit of chip damage to turrets. It's at the cost of Vladimir putting together a Void stuff, but for now you're not concerned about that. Songyun, after his horror laning phase, is able to find CS wherever he walks to, and then you reevaluate. So ROX Tigers do have to lose a bit of momentum here, which could be turned around against them. We remember their series against the Freak of Freaks. The first time we saw Skarner played in the LCK in 2018, where they were massively ahead, did nothing for 20 minutes, and then suddenly the items were online for Afrika. That could happen here as well. But your first indication with how just amazingly fed Lava is at this point is that a trouble bubble should end any of that talk and allow ROX to take the Baron to cement their lead.
I mean, we're looking at one-shot potential here onto the likes of Teddy.
Yeah, onto, yeah. Teddy and Grace will be dead.
Can chunk them out, and the follow-up would be there as well. Wraith just going to be losing out on that control ward. Grace can answer 2 hits on the Songwon, who doesn't really care that much. The Azir just kind of tickling the J4 at this point with his Warmogs. And they're just getting prepped with their vision for that Baron.
As delay is built here to Teddy, goes for a QSS because him dying in particular, he is the one pick that they'll prize overall, and they want him to be in the mid lane to actually clear in the face of Zoe. It means he'll get the access to most minions, but don't need a minion wave. Tarek walks up.
Oh, jeez, another hit going through. That's going to be the lockdown. Wraith has to pop the ultimate to stay alive. Wraith threatening in from the side, but is completely spotted out by that ward, and Alistar has to go back into the fountain. ROX just going to keep poking out where they can.
See if they taxi the minion wave and bot side with some more members. For now, just happy to have Linderung. Basically have solo pressure. Here comes Lava, picked up a TP.
Oh boy, coming straight back into the mid lane.
He needed some freebies. He wasn't doing well this game.
So unlucky with his pickups. Kind of Zonia's.
I smell
another
a ghost.
TP now.
Hello.
Wraith is coming in from the backside, gets the headbutt there as the Cosmic Radiant starts coming down. Lava getting ready to siege jump, and it will just delete Wraith. Says nice TP, man. You are gone. Welcome to the fight. Here's the exit. So on flashes away, trying to get himself out of there. Paddlestar barely missing. Lava looking for the lockup, and will be able to take him down. Double kill coming through. 8-1 as the ROX Tigers look to dominate Jin Air here in game number 2.
Yeah, Wraith tried to make something work. Didn't have the ultimate that time. Popped in an instant. Speaking of pops, every time Lava gets close with a paddle star, people see their lives flashing before their eyes.
Oh.
Spooky stuff. He's got QSS.
A lockdown. Great arcane shift there by Teddy. Takes himself over the wall, keeps himself alive and safe. But you can see what the cost is here for Jin Air. Losing Wraith, losing so on. This is going to be the bot. Inner turret going down. And suddenly there's none remaining outside the walls of Jin Air's base. They have just one turret to their name.
You can see why people get so frustrated about playing against the Zoe. It's because... But the funny thing is,
she's got a redemption now.
We have had a counterpoint of multiple games this week where Zoe's done precisely nothing. And I think this is the reason why you get the frustrations from ahead. It's just so oppressively uninteractive how much damage she does that you feel like there has to be an adjustment somewhere where the kind of the fun trade-off between when she's ahead and when she's behind can be worked on. Because that's kind of the part that's really struck me, is that there's been a lot of games recently where Zoe has done nothing, and there's games where it feels like Zoe has done everything. So finding a way to adjust that pendulum is what I think Riot should do, even if we've had enough games to see that Zoe is not just like instant win on drafting her in any game.
I think the damage should just be loaded into, you know, paddle stars connecting on the people who are asleep. Have the normal paddle stars do a percentage of the damage that they do now, but don't let it be just because you land one at max range that it really chunks them down and almost one-shots people. Should be rewarded for the mechanics, landing the bubble, landing the paddle star.
I like to see her
be
able
nice
to wave clear a little bit less. I think she can wave clear backline too early in the game.
Yes,
Otherwise it doesn't impact the actual late game paddle star, but that's a little adjustment I'd like to see. Maybe start small and get bigger as you investigate, but at 6-0-0 you should be able to do unspeakable things. They just look a bit more uninteractive when someone dies instantly.
Problem is she's been doing unspeakable things before she was 6-0.
Yeah, that's true.
Now it's just exacerbated the problem.
And just Jin Air don't have the items to fight back. It's a little bit like they've got the toy swords and Lava's got the really intimidating sword. I was trying not to be too colorful with the word I used there. But they're going to push in here. ROX Tigers, they know one trouble bubble might just end the game. Teddy trying to wave here. He took the QSS so he could be in the mid lane, so he could patrol against the Zoe. And they still have the hope of taking it to Jin Air territory, taking it late enough to win the game.
Yeah, ROX just slowly choking the life out of Jin Air here. 29 minutes remaining. Remaining in the game, hopefully not just remaining. Oh,
I mean, you read the script. I didn't.
I'm thinking about how these games normally go, but has been a faster pace here set by ROX Tigers. MT playing the front line.
Run away,
gets
MT.
chunked out. Grace taking the hit. And ROX just continuing the siege. Lava looking for the sleep there on the Teddy. Does not find it.
Teddy alone trying to dissuade any sort of a dive. Every time they get a couple minion waves crashing, Jin Air says, okay, closer and closer, inching towards some relevant items. They need a locket, they need a whole lot of items, and they have given up a lot of Baron control. In terms of spot vision, Ezreal is the only one who has a blue trinket available. Teddy trying to punish every time we see Lava miss a paddle start, but that's the tune of quite a lot of his mana bar, you'll notice, so we'll have to go for a shopping trip. You see blue pings on the Teddy, mostly about his mana. Well, he has a tier, so for now at least he'll be fine, and ROX is pinging up mid.
They're looking for the turret, should be able to bust this one down very swiftly. Linderong poking in as well, ready for the transformation, but the TP is coming through from Wraith.
Someone ghosted, but was instantly answered by a wallop from the Meganar.
Interesting. Wraith just wanting to get back right then and there, so he TP'd from the fountain. Didn't want to TP behind again after the way that last time turned out.
I mean, he still wants to, but he'd have ultimate this time, so he feel a little bit better. The reason why I was so surprised the paddle star wasn't in any way extended, just instantly burst him.
Boop. Yep.
Such as Alistair, with no resists and no ultimate available. And he finally gets it back. He's laughing, but only on the inside, as he's hoping to pick up a Blade of the Ruined King here. Don't think he had enough gold, but he only caught the tail end of the purchasing. ROX still haven't killed the game. We have to remember that, is the game is not being killed. A Baron buff, that's the start to killing the game. Alistair had to just respect ult there, and we saw that it would have gone wide. That's awkward for Wraith. Yeah, won't be going for any flanks, it seems.
Certainly not. Now, this is when ROX can really start looking to go for that Baron, perhaps, because they won't have the Alistar able to gatekeep.
One free tool denied away from side of Jin Air when it comes to a contest, and his Ghost is down as well.
Doing his damnedest to try to poke out Lava.
Got 3 items. There's still a fight here that Jin Air wins. How do they get it without all this poke just ending their hopes?
I mean, really hard to say as Linderong just chunks Soan out, forces him down to half HP,
Oh!
and makes him wrap around the back. Grace takes a massive paddle star right to the face. Gets walloped, and he nearly goes down, has to retreat back over to the fountain as MT just tries to slow up somebody to get a little bit of damage onto them, but they just can't do it. There's no semblance of control from Jin Air.
And they want to force a face check here. They'd love to take the Baron after taking the inhibitor. Turning on to Umti, has a Warmox, tanky enough. Linderung has no Mega Gnar, so for now at least they can just respect him too heavily. No longer exhausted though. Again, great objective picked up by ROX. It still doesn't kill the game. 10,000 gold lead. Odd is very nice for the side of ROX. Almost all of it on Lava. That's not true, but obviously a lot of it on Lava. So if Lava's killed first, there still is a team fight they win. Omti's walking up. They don't have vision. We know 7,000 health.
Omti getting chunked down. Trouble Bubble not going to connect on to him. He dashes forward looking for Lava. Can they delete him? The shields come down. Now the Cosmic Radiance joining in. The Baron has been stopped here for the moment. Wraith taking a big hit. And maybe this is the opportunity for Jin Air. Can't go over the wall to start the Baron themselves, but they have at least stopped the ROX Tigers from taking it.
And they will feel so good to know they got actual summoners out of Zoe. Not those fake summoners, the bootleg ones that she picks up off the floor.
Fake summoners.
It's like those people that used to bring fake DVDs around and was like, yeah, just buy this, it's much cheaper. The bootleg summoners are gone, the real summoners are gone. Maybe Zoe will actually be killable in the next fight.
I remember falling for those bootleg shops.
Did you?
At the
were they the movies that they
flea
said they were?
and everything. Oh, it was always the movie, but it was always just really like awful, unwatchable versions, like
Recorded in a
really
cinema?
poor, yeah, like VHS tape, copied to DVD, basically.
Oh, the highest quality VHS recording.
Absolutely atrocious. No, there was the one time we went, and there was a guy who was advertising, one of those game systems, kind of like an emulator system, and he's like, you can play, all these hundreds of games. And we bought it, and then we got it home, and it just didn't work at all.
You got swindled, Achilles.
It was like a hollow piece of plastic. I was like 9 years old or something like that.
Well, I would say the ROX Tigers got swindled a little bit in game 1. So they're desperately hoping this game closes out. They're ahead in kills. They got a lot of control. Have a Mountain Drake to do a faster Baron here. Thinks Linderong, but that sneaking suspicion that Jin Air with Azir can make anything happen is still gonna occur until we see actual kills come through. The gold lead not expanded. Zoe could die here.
Looking for the kill. Big pulverizing lava has been taken out. Jin Air find their second, their third kill of the game, and now might have found themselves a Baron. They're doing it yet again, the turnaround, if they can finish this objective.
They're on the road. They got the bootleg summoners, the real summoners. They got the Zoe, but do they get the Baron? The answer seems yes. Java's not going to go for the steal.
Everybody peeling back. The only thing really now that Jin Air have to be concerned about is going to be the pressure from the mid lane with the super creeps, but they can finally utilize this Baron to potentially knock down some turrets.
Teddy has made Lava accountable, going for Trinity Force, always focusing all the poke onto the Zoe. has definitely taketh away in this time. He gives them some life by hitting the ultimate that time around. Zoe goes down, the Baron buff so far against the pace of the game. Zoe was 6-0, the game was supposed to end. Zoe died, and suddenly, Jin Air have a fed split pusher, is very farmed up in the Vladimir. Suddenly Teddy is happy to walk up, and maybe they'll finally break the top lane outer turret. Not a lot of vision on the map. It's also advanced for the side of ROX, because they were playing on the enemy red side. Well, that vision's kind of useless now. The vision's being used against you because they're playing aggressively. And Jin Air's finally going to get their second turret of the game.
Trying to bring this all the way back from the brink. Jin Air still down a considerable amount, nearly 5,000 gold in the hole.
But remember, you don't hit that paddle star, you don't hit that trouble bubble. The all-in can be won by Jin Air, can be won by the Azir, who quietly has 4 items. 5 items, including the boots. This Azir is farmed.
Like I said, Grace, we didn't see much from him. He was just farming this entire time. But when we finally get some action, he picks up a double kill. He enters the game.
I see 3 sorceries on the side of Jin Air. I need to know how many of them are Gathering Storms, OGN. Thankfully at the Gangnam Stadium we have that technology, but here, sorcery only on the side of Lava. Gathering Storm definitely on Lava, just to be clear.
That technology doesn't exist, don't lie to me.
It's pretty bootleg, actually, all things considered. As Linderong's probably dead.
Yeah, he's going to get jumped on. Does have the blast cone. And
okay.
He'll make it over. Poor angle there by Umti. Can't follow through.
So one, waiting to do a bit of damage here.
Pulverize in onto Song1 as he trying to lock him down. Cataclysm comes in as well as the stopwatch, trying to keep himself alive. True Shot Barrage goes through. Cosmic Radiance barely keeps the J4 alive, and now Linderong's on the backside.
Only mini Gnar, though.
That doesn't have the Gnar bar, but can build it up pretty rapidly if he can get the boomerang hits. Go ahead and take down that control ward in the meantime as Grace pokes everyone down, forces Lava back. They will finish off another turret, second one they've netted themselves with this Baron buff so far.
The gold lead's gone away like a Zoe popping enemy champion. It's almost disappeared. Only 4,000 gold lead here for ROX Tigers.
A lot of it was sitting in the structures. They're 4 turrets down. That'll bring back a lot of it. Massive wave accumulating there in the top side. Jin Air wants to answer that. They want to force that into the turret.
No Ghost on So1, taking a lot of free damage.
Yeah, has to be careful about the Cogmaw here as he gets sniped out. One more hit might do it. He finds it. That's going to be devastating now, as perhaps ROX are going to be looking for the fight. Teddy alone in the lane. Has to kite his way out of here. Key trying to close the distance, trying to get the dazzle hits, but Teddy is just trading back onto Lava all the meanwhile.
Keep chasing Lava.
Nearly takes him out. Doesn't finish him off, and now Song1 poking forward, but Teddy fighting back with all that he can muster.
Cataclysm almost off cooldown. Teddy only has E. No flash. Turn on to Linderong.
They're going to go ahead and melt him out right as he flashes. Grace finds the kill. Flag and drag takes Song1 out of the fight. Lava rejoining in, gets the paddle star barely actually missing there onto Umti. Gets the sleep. They go over the wall. Umti chunked down to about half HP, but holds onto his flash. So ROX, they survive the Baron buff. They lose 2 turrets. But it has just been absolute insanity here now. 38.5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, plus 5,000 gold. We knew it was 10,000 before the Baron went down, so 5,000 gold rescued by Jin Air with their Baron buff steal into taking down a couple of turrets. Still no guarantees on the game, but the guarantee I can tell you is that Vladimir has a hell of a lot of ability power. He finished the death cap on his last buy. If Vladimir can trivialize one of Zoe or Cogmaw, there's a lot of damage on Ezreal and Azir in particular. There's still team fights here that I like for Jin Air because they have a more diverse damage portfolio with 3 people who are true carries. They're continuing to push in, they're continuing to be aggressive. No teleport onto Linderer.
Get some damage onto this turret, but the wave clear is there.
Teddy's had the most impactful 003 secret agent Ezreal we've seen in a long time.
Really has. The poke that he's just been laying down, weaving it in, even while running away from the enemy, has been monumental here for Jin Air, trying to survive.
On a simple level, if I wanted to describe Teddy's role this game, he made a 6-0 Zoe accountable, which should be impossible. Not many champions, not many players have the confidence to do that. But he went QSS delaying his 3rd item just to try to wave clear and pressure Lava. And whatever the result of the game, that decision was a resounding success for Jin Air and for Teddy in particular.
Well, Elder Dragon spawning here in 30 seconds. Baron in just under 2 minutes. ROX yet again asserting control. They know that they still have the gold lead to about 6,000, and will be looking for that Elder Drake to go along with their 3 stacks.
Range paddle stars into Sejuani's, not like they used to be. It's getting tankier and tankier as the front line. Ghost Flash up on Wraith, target acquisition build. Want to get Vladimir into the back line. Ghost Flash on 2 members. Feels like solo queue, but for now at least, thwarted. I want to take the Elder Dragon on the back end. No setup around this objective. Teleport switched over.
So on
teleport
to the bottom lane. They're going to be looking for the fight here.
So fast.
Gonna get in for the slow true shot barrage. Goes
to kite to
through them.
Vladimir.
So on just kites right in. Drops down that Hemo Plague. Ult comes down, but so does the Cosmic Radiance, trying to keep them in the fight. So on goes Gold. Gets all of his HP back and has to flash over the wall. Elder Dragon still in combat, has not been leashed back into the pit, and now Jin Air are going to be looking for it. Wraith trying to gate them out, and they might be able to do it. That's going to be the Elder going over to Jin Air, now taking the fight. Wraith goes low, stopwatch comes through, keeps himself alive, and ROX are on the run, headed for the hills. It seems like everybody going to go their separate ways, and so on tries to get back to that top lane to save the turret.
That was so close, such a seesaw there. Into the back line was the Vladimir, but Cosmic Radiance was early because they saw him coming on the minion wave. Meant the Hemo Plague and the first round of damage did nothing from the Vladimir. He just about keeps the top lane outer turret alive. But 2 objectives have gone the way of Jin Air that should never have done so, Achilles. The first Baron ROX had set up for many minutes, could never actually kill it. The Elder Dragon also taken away. We still go on.
I feel when Alistar has a stopwatch 41 minutes into the game.
He might have bought it, honestly.
I think he might have picked it up at some point, but now is going to be working towards that locket as Lava just goes golden yet again. Still is holding on to his own
still
stopwatch.
Has his own stopwatch. Enough bootleg stopwatches.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Fake Rolex? Fake Rolex?
Pretty much. Lava took a pit stop into Philadelphia, I see.
Hey, you said it, not me.
I'm from the area. I know the truth. Can't imagine what that city was like the night after the Super Bowl. Good God.
Well, this is the world we live in, one where Jin Air might be coming up with another huge turnaround in this game. One more engage, one more dead Lava, and the game probably swings uncontrollably away from ROX Tigers. Lava hasn't been able to in any way be relevant the last 12 minutes. The Zoe has been trivialized. The poke onto Sungwon. I mean, from Teddy is more reliable. Teddy's at 6 items. He's a Fountain Laser.
He's getting there.
Not full Fountain Laser. Has to sell his boots for that. And Ezreal probably less likely.
Here we go. Baron spawned. Jin Air still hovering nearby. They don't have the pressure in the base. The inhibitor has been back up for quite some time, and they have a massive wave moving away from the top side of the map.
They have no scrying orbs available, so they have to be respectful. Big gold onto Gray. 6th item coming in. Gonna be fully decked out, I imagine, from this. Yep. Feeling real powerful. Rylai's for target acquisition, the Andres as well. We all take a deep breath and know that the next time 2 people die, the game probably ends one way or the other.
See, even on the key. Quite a bit of damage coming through from Teddy.
Yeah, Lord Dominic's on Teddy to make sure that he's doing damage to the health stackers on the side of ROX. Control ward down. Minion wave in the bot side. Is it time to actually push in onto the Baron here? First thought is yes.
True shot barrage thrown out there by Teddy. Gets a little bit of damage in onto Lava.
All right, Baron started as the minion wave is coming in.
It's
a lot of
back
things
in
happening.
base. He's all the way back in base, and they're just going to have to let this one go.
Yep.
Yeah, Empty can't get in there in time. So no fight to be had. Jin Air now going to have to hold off for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, really unclear why Wraith was in base. At this point in the game, we know that Baron doesn't necessarily decide everything, but it's the first Baron that ROX Tigers been able to pick up, and they have the Zoe. So now if there is actually any sort of paddle start hitting, they can just try to rush down some inhibitors, take down 3, and perhaps end the game there. So consequential for them to finally pick up a Baron 20 minutes after they thought they'd rightfully earned one from a smart early game. Baron buff power play finally started for ROX. Can it be as big as Jin Air's was in trying to shore up the defense in this game?
Now ROX trying to find somebody in the jungle. They're out the trouble bubble as Teddy tries to get that red buff. But just won't be able to find that one for himself. Lava takes it away.
Well, I hope it was worth it for Wraith. He's got Ghost Flash. So does So-On. They're ready to fight against the Baron buff. Poking, nope, can't deal with that. All in, possible. They can bait out Cosmic Radiance and be massive. Or they can kill one person before it arms.
It's already taken so much of a beating. A couple more hits. We'll finish that one off. Grace cheating forward, takes a lot of damage, has to go back down, now down to about half HP. Wraith pops the ultimate, goes in, finds the headbutt pulverize. They get one hit in on the lava.
Still haven't been able to bait out Cosmic Radiance either. Achilles is still up.
Teddy doing some serious work. Chunks out Song 1. Meanwhile, Linderong trying to take down this inhib in the mid lane. Teddy now with the rest of the team defending the top side. Songyun looking for an entry here to fire away. Chunks out Sand turret goes down. Inhibitor falling in top and mid. ROX finally have some more control coming back through. Lava chunked low, but still is sticking around.
2 inhibitors with their Baron buff. About minimum you'd expect, given where they were at before they picked up Baron. But back away. Elder Dragon not spawned yet. Final inhibitor going to be a lot harder to crack. Minion wave pushing out for Jin Air. So it's probably the end of the true Baron buff power play here. Smart of ROX to posture towards it, and at least force some questions into the mind of Jin Air. They could never get out the Cosmic Radiance. Grace went very aggressive, thinking about a flashed ultimate himself, but was poked out. Wasn't a true commit. And in the end, the game delays. Bringing up the minion wave. They've got probably 2 minion waves here to try to crack the base before the Baron buff expires. Could just be 1 also, as the second minion wave is only now cresting the river.
Linderog's still poking into the mid side, so he's going to have that flank ready to go, and nearly has a transformation lined up. Two-shot barrage thrown in by Teddy yet again, just trying to clear out the waves as swiftly as possible.
Where will Jin Air make their last stand? With Azir, they've made their last stands with no Nexus turrets. Been down 3 inhibitors in 1 already this season.
Linderog has transformed. Looking for the poke over the wall. Linderong now going to be exhausted. That's going to be the Cataclysm coming down. Sungwon just flag and dragging his way back out. Cosmic Radiance does come in, and nobody has gone low on the side of Jin Air yet.
Re-engage is so tricky to pull off yet. Sejuani ult is down. They don't have a lot of engage. Unless Wraith can pull it off, so tricky to actually tussle up ROX, and low cooldown on the Cosmic Radiance.
Doesn't have the Unbreakable Will anymore, so if he does go in, he'll still be quite squishy. So have to be very careful on this one. Baron buff now expiring. Down to about half HP. You can see Songyun still just sieging away with the ultimate here on the cog wall. Now firing away, getting an opening to finish off this final inhibitor. Another transformation there for Linderong, looking for the hit, and that is just going to be the final there. All 3 inhibitors now taken out as ROX sets their sights onto these Nexus turrets.
Well, back away from here. Nexus turrets still up. Jin Air hoping and praying there's still a fight they can force, and the game isn't just decided by side lane push. Lava's going to go back.
Luden's Echo for So-On, rather. So why not?
Teleport back in. He picked that one up. Actually, no. He turned over. I tell a lie. That's a real teleport.
Yeah, Lava does come through. He's got a Ghost ready.
So-On almost dies.
Gets ripped apart. A couple more hits. One more would do it. Has to use the protobelt just to get back to the fountain in time. Keep himself alive as Teddy fires away, chunks Linderong down to about half HP. Slept right as he was potentially looking for the ultimate.
Cosmic Radiance back up again, so ROX Tigers have many different options here. They can look to bat. Linderong can just teleport in again. They're trying to keep everything on. A very short leash for Jin Air in their own base. No inhibitors up, teleport back in.
Linderong going to be rejoining. Building up, looking for that Narbar. Seems coming through. Grace on the sidelines, trying to get some damage in. Ult comes in, gets the connection. Big pulverizing the Cosmic Radiance comes in right at the last second before anybody on the side of ROX can die. Now Wraith up in the front line, goes low. Grace goes in, throws down the Emperor's Divide, but immediately gets turned on by Songyun, and he'll be taken out, but so on. Trades one, but trades it for his own life. Ultimate back down the wave. They get the hit onto Umpty. He has to flash away.
Teddy's
Several members of
so
ROX
strong.
Still very low, and like you say, Teddy is very much alive. Throws out the True Shot Barrage to try to minimize the wave, but they have so many crashing that I don't know if Jin Air can survive this.
He's low on mana as well, but they're trying to finish right now.
One Nexus turret getting ready to go down. Lava has been finished off. Teddy looking for Linderong, but can't quite get around the minions. First Nexus turret does fall, as does Wraith, and I think that they have finally done it. 50 minutes just about on the clock. ROX Tigers finishing off that final Nexus turret. Umpty barely staying alive on the outskirts, but with all of those minions, there's nothing that Teddy can do, despite how massive he is on the Ezreal, and we are going to Game 3 after all.
ROX Tigers finally able to stick what was a great early game for them. Great defense from Jin Air GreenWings pulls it longer and longer, but a single Baron buff picked up by ROX was really what decided the game. And no one's smiling, because that means that we're going to a Game 3, everything even between ROX Tigers and Jin Air GreenWings. Great performance in the early game from Lava. Looked like just alone that Zoe was going to decide the game, but suddenly Zoe wasn't really doing any heavy lifting. Teddy was doing the heavy lifting. It's what delayed the game, but a free Baron after Wraith recalled and Vladimir was drawn to the bot lane means that Jin Air couldn't have a heroic defense against the Baron. They fall, and it's a best of one for all the marbles between two very even opponents.
Well, we're going late again, it would seem. Very swift first game, this one pushing it about as far as it can go. There 50 minutes or so on the clock, and we get the tie up there as ROX managed to bring it back, so no 2-0. But now, how are they going to tackle closing this one out, the ROX Tigers? They lost last time on the red side. We'll see what they're going to do to change up the draft so that they don't suffer another loss and fall further down the standings.
Galio and Zoe, I think, two champions will be heavily focused on in the final bans.
We'll see what these guys are going to piece together and how Jin Air are also going to respond. Teddy, fantastic game from him on the Ezreal, but not enough. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, game number 3.